what happens when you put a teacher in front of a crowd, huh? You learn something new, right? You come out a better person, you're better informed. Give it to teachers! You know, I have this overwhelming new feeling, new emotion that I've been going with. Love. I love Wisconsin, suddenly. What a great place. What a great place. My name is Esti Dinur. I'm a public employee, and I also do a call-in show on WORT 89.9 FM. The station that has been here from the moment things started, and actually before, the one that has reported about what's going on here, the one that is now threatened because the federals are cutting funding for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. You should also know that people have been having trouble with the Capitol accepting their press credentials, including, I understand, organizing. We've been marching and coming. Women and their children will be suffering at greater numbers and in greater depth than men.
That's right.
But we're not asked to speak. So I want to put this out. I also want to put out that people of color and immigrants haven't been speaking much from the podium, though, again, they will suffer a lot more than the white middle class brothers who I appreciate and value, but who have been the representing face of our movement, of our protests in the last 3 weeks, and I would like to ask these brothers to think about it next time they're asked to speak.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to ask someone else to talk. All eyes are Wisconsin nowadays because it is a proving ground for the plan that has been hatched and carried out by the incredibly rich, the Tea Party which they created and are financing, and the lunatic fringe of the GOP represented right here by our new governor. All are one and the same. And that plan is to implement in the United States the kind of programs they've employed throughout the third world. In this model, the Western world supports a very small and very wealthy ruling class in countries that have been depleted by the West of their natural resources. The citizens of these countries become ever poorer, and as their economies fail, the West comes in again through international financial institutions and lends money to the ruling class, which in turn agrees to austerity programs. Not for themselves. They implement austerity on their citizens so that whatever social programs there used to be are now eliminated and poverty reigns supreme. Children die of hunger, young girls work for 14 hours a day, girls, boys, and women are forced into prostitution, epidemics spread, violence rules the streets. In such situations, people take jobs that pay $1 or $2 a day. They sell their children to serve and be abused by the ruling class. They agree to take contaminated and radioactive trash. They're easy to repress because when you're hungry and have no home, healthcare, education, or hope, you'll do whatever it takes to get these things for a while, until you rebel. And we've been seeing people rebelling against this for quite a while now throughout the third world, and we're seeing it now. As the third world refuses to continue playing its part in the tragedy that the very rich have authored, The chickens are starting to come home to roost. Why not implement this in the United States, say the Koch brothers?
Boo!
And Walker answers, I'm happy to be the despot who will implement it for you.
Boo!
And we get the budget repair bill.
Boo!
What is there to repair? There is no financial crisis in Wisconsin or the United States. The money that we had 3 and 10 years ago is still here. It did not disappear underground. It did not evaporate. It went into the pockets of Wall Street bankers and the likes of the Kochs, who in turn have even more money with which to buy politicians. Money was taken from us by those who already are obscenely rich, just like in the third world. Add to that the tax cuts for those same rich. They don't pay taxes, nor do they participate in the sacrifice that they ask us to carry. These cuts, which have been growing annually for many years, at least since the Reagan years, together with the money that they stole, have created this supposed crisis. It's an easy crisis to fix. Let the banks and the huge corporations which we bailed out return the money that we gave to them. And let the corporations, 2/3 of which do not pay any tax at all, start paying their fair share. Tax the rich! If this were to happen, we'd all be getting the raises that we so well deserve. Don't know about you all, but as a public employee, I haven't gotten any raise in the last 4 years. In the last 2 years, my salary has been cut with the furloughs. The corporations and the very rich must start paying taxes. This must become a rallying cry. It is extremely important. Tax the rich!
Tax the rich!
For austerity measures. Walker and his clones in other states want to cut every life-supporting and sustaining program. Medical assistant and badger care, education, infrastructure other than roads, housing help, heat during winter, food for hungry children, help for single parents, recycling, the arts, free media, and of course the bargaining rights that have helped us get things like healthcare, weekends, 40-hour weeks, which for us, public employees have actually become 45 and 50-hour weeks because our numbers have been cut. In this dream world of the rich and the Republicans, which is a nightmare for the rest of us, those who still have a job will have no disposable income and so will not be able to buy things. Small businesses will go belly up one after the other. The owners of these businesses might eventually lose their homes and move into overgrown homeless camps. Their kids hungry at home will not be fed at school either, and the schools, with 50 children to a classroom with one tired and frustrated teacher who has no aids or other help, will become battlegrounds. There will be roads, since the right to exploit and pollute the earth until the last drop of carbohydrates has been extracted and used is sacred to the Kochs and the Republicans. But most of us won't have the wherewithal to use these roads. And we won't have public transportation. Our beautiful and precious environment will be sold for pennies to polluters, along with our public utilities. As for healthcare, without bargaining rights, the thing that is considered a basic human right throughout the Western world and much of the rest of the world will not be available to the majority of Wisconsinites, and eventually that industry will go belly up too. And those employed in it will become unemployed. But our rulers will make sure that we get pregnant non-stop by making family planning and contraception unavailable and abortion illegal. Women will again die in unsanitary and dangerous abortion mills. Yes, Walker and his supporters are pre-lifers, loving a child until she or he are born. In such an environment, we will find ourselves fighting for the extremely low-wage jobs that Walker's patrons will throw to us. And if we can shop at all, it'll have to be in the Walmart. Promising 250,000 new jobs, Walker first eliminated any hope for the thousands of good jobs that would have been created by a high-speed train. He is now working to eliminate every other good job that exists in Wisconsin. Once public employees are laid off, and those who remain work harder for less money and no benefits, the same will happen in the private sector.
Oh, but now I'm missing that lady.
And the good private sector, the one that creates jobs that sustain families, is the kind of sector that loves places like Madison, where we have good programs, where we care for those less fortunate, where we have arts and culture. But that won't exist anymore under Walker's plan. We will be a third world banana republic if he has his way. But no,
Palm Republic.
this scheme isn't working as planned. We are blessed to see Wisconsin wake up and refuse to be kicked to the ground.
Go Wisconsin!
Wisconsinites, who are generally very polite and averse to conflict, have risen to the challenge. Thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands have been coming from all over the state to tell Scott Walker that we won't let him trash this beautiful land, no take away our right to decent lives. And we are doing it peacefully.
Wisconsin's not for sale!
Wisconsin's not for sale.
Wisconsin's not for sale. Wisconsin's not for sale. Wisconsin's not for sale.
I want to make one more very important point. It will not be enough to restore the right to collective bargaining, important as that is. This bill is full of dangerous, horrible initiatives.
Right.
It's incumbent upon us to make sure that the unions do not settle on collective bargaining and go home.
Right.
We must not allow for any concessions. The bill has to go, all of it. All eyes are on Wisconsin. It's our role to show this country and the world that we understand the conniving of the ruling class and we won't allow it to manifest. We will fight back without violence. We will fight with love and determination so we know what's right and we know how to get there with our hands clean. On Wisconsin!